Have you ever woken up in the morning and thought, why does everything feel so much harder than it used to? Maybe your joints ache a little more than they did last year, or you find yourself forgetting small things more often. It's easy to chalk it all up to just getting older. But what if I told you that some of these struggles don't have to be inevitable? The truth is, aging is a natural part of life, but how we age is something we can influence. Some people breeze through their later years with energy, clarity, and joy, while others find every day a battle. The difference often comes down to a few key issues, things we might not even realize are making life harder than it needs to be. In this video, we're going to talk about 6 of these common challenges and, more importantly, how to avoid or overcome them. Because no matter your age, you deserve to feel your best, not just get by, but truly thrive. Now let's start with the first issue so many of us face without even realizing it: isolation. It's funny. When we're younger, we often crave peace and quiet, a break from the hustle and bustle. But as we get older, life has a way of slowing down too much. Friends move away, family gets busy, and before we know it, days can go by without a real conversation. And here's the thing: loneliness isn't just hard emotionally. It can actually affect our physical health. Studies show that chronic loneliness can lead to higher risks of heart disease, memory problems, and even a weaker immune system. But the good news? This is one of the easiest problems to fix, if we're intentional about it. You don't need a huge social circle. Even 1 or 2 meaningful connections can make all the difference. Maybe it's joining a local book club, reconnecting with an old friend over the phone, or even striking up a conversation with a neighbor. Small steps add up. And that brings us to the second issue: a sedentary lifestyle. It's tempting to slow down as we age. After all, we've earned the right to relax, haven't we? But here's the catch: our bodies are designed to move. When we sit too much, our muscles weaken, our joints stiffen, and our energy levels drop. It becomes a cycle. The less we move, the harder it feels to start moving again. But you don't have to run a marathon to stay active. Simple, gentle movements like a daily walk, stretching while watching TV, or even gardening can keep your body strong and flexible. The key is consistency. Think of it like this: if you don't use it, you lose it. But the opposite is also true. The more you move, the easier it becomes. Now let's talk about the third challenge: poor nutrition. As we age, our appetite and digestion can change, and sometimes we fall into the habit of eating the same quick, easy meals. Maybe toast for breakfast, a sandwich for lunch, and not much else. But our bodies need more variety, not less, to stay healthy. Lack of proper nutrients can lead to low energy, weak bones, and even brain fog. The fix? Focus on colorful, whole foods, fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats. And here's a tip: if cooking feels like too much work, try batch prepping simple meals, or even using frozen vegetables, which are just as nutritious. Small changes, like adding an extra serving of veggies to your plate or drinking more water, can make a big difference over time. Now that we've covered these first 3 issues, isolation, inactivity, and poor nutrition, let's move on to the next ones, because each of these challenges is connected, and addressing them can truly transform how you feel every day. Now, let's talk about something that doesn't always get the attention it deserves: sleep troubles. Have you ever found yourself lying awake at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling, wondering why sleep seems to slip away as we get older? You're not alone. Many of us assume that needing less sleep is just part of aging, but that's not entirely true. While our sleep patterns might shift, restful sleep is still crucial for our mood, our memory, even our overall health. The problem is, poor sleep can sneak up on us. Maybe it's because we're less active during the day, or we're drinking too much caffeine too late, or stress is keeping our minds racing at night. Whatever the reason, The good news is that small adjustments can make a big difference. Try winding down with a calming routine, like reading a book, not on a screen, or sipping caffeine-free tea. Keeping a consistent bedtime, even on weekends, helps too. And if pain is keeping you up, a small pillow under your knees or a warm bath before bed might ease the discomfort. Now let's move on to the fifth issue: neglecting mental stimulation. Our brains are like muscles. If we don't use them, they weaken. And in today's world, it's easy to fall into passive habits, like watching TV for hours or sticking to the same daily routines without challenging ourselves. But here's the thing: keeping your mind active doesn't mean you have to solve crossword puzzles if that's not your thing. It could be as simple as learning a new recipe, picking up a hobby you've always wanted to try, or even having lively discussions with friends. The key is curiosity. When we stay curious, we keep our brains engaged. And an engaged brain is a sharper, happier brain. So whether it's playing cards with a grandchild, listening to a podcast on a new topic, or even just taking a different route on your walk, those little moments of mental effort add up. And that brings us to the sixth and final issue: a lack of purpose. This one might sound a bit abstract, but stick with me. After decades of working, raising families, or being the person everyone relied on, it's common to feel adrift once those roles change. And when we lose that sense of purpose, it can affect everything: our motivation, our joy, even our physical health. But here's the beautiful part: purpose doesn't have to be grand. It can be as simple as tending to a garden, volunteering once a week, or sharing your wisdom with younger generations. One of my favorite examples is a friend who started writing letters to nursing home residents, just a few a month. It gave her something to look forward to, and it brightened someone else's day. Purpose isn't about doing more, it's about finding what makes you feel meaningful. Now let's tie it all together. We've talked about 6 key challenges: isolation, inactivity, poor nutrition, sleep troubles, neglecting mental stimulation, and a lack of purpose. And while they might seem overwhelming at first glance, the solutions are often small, manageable steps. So, where do we go from here? You might be thinking, that's a lot to work on. How do I even start? And I get it. Change can feel daunting, especially when routines are comfortable. But here's the secret: you don't have to tackle everything at once. In fact, the best approach is to pick one area that resonates with you the most and start there. Maybe today you decide to call an old friend you've been meaning to reconnect with, or perhaps you'll swap out that afternoon cookie for a piece of fruit. Small steps are still steps forward, and over time those small steps become habits. Habits that can transform how you feel in your day-to-day life. Remember, aging isn't about avoiding all challenges. It's about navigating them with wisdom and grace. And you've already taken the first step just by being here and wanting to make a change. That's something to be proud of. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 6 issues resonates the most with your life? Have you found a trick that's helped you stay active, sleep better, or stay connected? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. And if this video helped you, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more tips on living your best life at any age. Because here's the truth: getting older isn't about slowing down. It's about stepping into the richness of all you've learned and all you still have to offer. So here's to you, to your health, your happiness, and the joy of making the most of every day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.